When you first start rinsing the car, the coating is going to tell you what it needs. If you want the maximum boosting capability for your ceramic coating, Graphene Boost, hands down, is the best product for that. When it comes to ceramic coating maintenance, there's a lot of different products and processes that you can do both with graphene infused products and regular Adams Polishes products. Now, graphene maintenance is not a general type of process, okay? Oftentimes what you need to do is understand what the ceramic coating is telling you that's on the surface. There's some indicators it's going to give you that allows you to know what product and process to start with. So first things first, in this video, what we're going to do is start rinsing the car, and the ceramic coating is going to tell us what it needs and what product and process to do. So let's jump right into it. Now, before I start rinsing this car off, I want to make sure that I have all of my washing stuff set up. So we're for sure going to wash this car. It just depends on what product we'll use, but I have my 2 buckets. I have my wash pad. I also have water inside of my foam cannon. So once I start rinsing this off and I understand what the ceramic coating needs, then I can choose which product I need to put in my bucket or foam cannon, whether it's graphene shampoo, regular car shampoo, or mega foam, and then we can move on from there. But make sure before you start, what you don't want to do is start blasting this down with hard water on here and it starts to develop water spots and you don't have your buckets and everything ready. You want to have that all set up before you start rinsing. The water behavior is going to tell us what the ceramic coating needs. So you can see it's somewhat flat right now on the surface. Okay, so oftentimes when the water is flat on the surface, it means there's road film on there. So we need a shampoo that has enough power to remove some of the oily residue that's on here from driving through rain, things like that. And so I know for sure the first place I'm going to start and the first product I'm going to use is graphene shampoo. Set the pressure washer down. I'm going to get some of this onto the wash pad. You always want to put your soap on your wash pad. Put a little bit in here, and then I'll take the foam cannon, which I have some water in already, and I'm going to do about 3 to 4 quick squeezes of the product into the foam cannon. Again, you know, when you go to spray this down or rinse this off and the water behavior or the hydrophobic is still present, instead of using graphene shampoo, you can just do a regular wash with car shampoo, okay? Highly lubricated product that reduces chance for scratching. But in this case, I want the power of the degreasing properties of graphene shampoo to help remove the road film that's on here. Now, after I wash it and I rinse it off, the ceramic coating again is going to tell us what we need. It's going to be a great indicator to know, do we need to move on to just drying the car, or do we need to move on to actually removing bonding contamination with the clay mitt? So after we wash, we'll get into that step and then we'll see what we need next. Now this car was ceramic coated about 8 months ago. We actually did a live video. This car was bought brand new and we ceramic coated it immediately. So this is sort of like a great time, kind of 6 to 8 months to do a maintenance process on a ceramic coated vehicle. But again, as we talk about in this video, there's certain indicators that the ceramic coating is going to tell you of which process you need to do. So definitely first things first is always washing the car. So, you know, just to reiterate, by utilizing the graphene shampoo, we can get off some of that oily residue or road oil, road film that is on the car. And once we get that road film off, then when we rinse it off, we're gonna get another indicator as to what this car needs. So that's why the washing process is so key. And remember, ceramic coatings are not 100% bulletproof. Yes, they're harder than clear coat, so they don't get as much damage, but they're not void from getting scratches. So because of that, because they're not bulletproof, I want to make sure and use my 2 buckets. So I have the grates inside the buckets, okay, so I can remove loose dirt and grime from my wash pad as I go through the washing process, avoiding getting more scratches as I do this process. So once I've washed a few panels, stick the wash pad into the bottom of my wash bucket, rub it against the grate. So essentially what I'm doing is taking my wash pad, rubbing it against the grate like this, and you can see it falls to the bottom. So any loose dirt and grime falls to the bottom of the bucket, and these fins prevent it from swirling up to the top, getting into the wash pad, and then readdressing loose dirt and grime to the surface or to the ceramic coating. So this process of a 2-bucket wash is extremely important when it comes to maintaining a ceramic coated vehicle. So do the clean water, get as much dirt and grime off the wash pad, then go into the soapy water, same thing, rub it against the grate at the bottom. But now I have the power of graphene shampoo in my wash pad, and we go back to washing. Okay, so we're done washing. I'm just gonna make sure I rub this against the grate. When we start rinsing the car, we'll have another indicator as to what the ceramic coating is gonna need. So we'll rinse it off, and then we'll address the next process or the next product we need after rinsing. So what I'm noticing on this panel is a lot of the hydrophobic properties are coming back, okay? But it's still fairly flat, okay? So what that's really telling me right now is there's probably bonding contamination on here. Now, bonding contamination are things that are stuck on the ceramic coating that you can't remove from washing. So paint overspray, tree sap, road tar, things that you acquire over time, especially after about 8 months, which is where we're at with this car. And so I know that the next step that I need to do after fully rinsing this is to use a clay mitt, do a maintenance clay on this, okay? You can either use a clay mitt or you can use a fine grade clay to do your maintenance clay process. I personally like the clay mitt, and I'm actually gonna do it during this washing process. So I'll rinse all the soap off, we'll re-foam it with our foam cannon, and then we'll use the clay mitt to remove the bonding contamination. And what I'm gonna be doing is using the graphene shampoo in the foam cannon as my lubrication for that claying process. So let's finish rinsing the car, and then we'll get into using the clay mitt to remove the bonding contamination. I'm gonna take the foam cannon, which I still have some of the graphene shampoo mixture in there, and we're gonna re-foam it. Now, you don't need to overdo the foam when it comes to the claying process. It's just a nice thin layer. So I'll stand back a little bit further. I'm gonna foam it down just enough to have lubrication for my clay mitt process, and then we'll jump into the claying portion. Now, I just wanna say, if you washed your ceramic coated vehicle with graphene shampoo and the water behavior came back to exactly how you want it, where the water is beating like crazy, you don't need to do this clay step, okay? You can move on to drying the car, and then you can use your favorite drying aid, whether that's Detail Spray or CS3, to fully dry the car, and you're done, okay? So only in the case when the water behavior is still flat do you need to then clay it after. Realize that this is not, every step that I do is not something every single person needs to do, okay? That's why the indicator of what the water behavior is really what telling you what process and product you need to use. So let's get into the claying. I'm gonna foam this nice and thin. Just a little bit of foam like that. And now what I'll do is I'm gonna utilize the soapy water bucket, take my clay mitt, I'm gonna dunk it in here for a second, like so, and now I'm gonna start claying the car, okay? There's kind of two sides to the clay mitt. There's the side with the clay residue, and then there's a side with the mitt fabric, okay? So I'm using the clay side, and what this does is it grabs onto the bonded contamination that's on the surface of the ceramic coating and it removes it. So, and oftentimes what you're gonna hear is, as you go over it, you'll kind of hear almost like you're touching sand, and then it goes smooth after, and that's when you know you can move on to the next panel. And I'm using light pressure. You don't need to push super hard. Just nice light pressure. Allow the clay mitt to glide on the surface while you remove the bonding contamination. Now, I know the person who owns this car very well. It's actually my dad. So when he bought this car new, we ceramic coated it immediately. And I know that at their house, where he parks in the driveway, there's a tree right next to it. So my sneaking suspicion is that this Tundra has been getting sprayed with tree sap, not the big drops of tree sap, but like when it turns springtime, it just sort of mists tree sap onto the car. So I think what I'm doing right now is removing that thin layer of tree sap. And what I imagine is the water behavior will come back, like the hydrophobics will come back once I'm done doing this clay step. So I'm just making sure to go through and touch all the painted areas. And some of this, like this area, there's some vinyl over it, black vinyl. So when you have vinyl like this or clear bra, you don't want to go against where it ends, okay? You want to go with it. So when I'm claying this, I don't want to go over and back, over and back. You just start here and go over like this. You don't want any of the clay residue that's on the mitt to get stuck in this crease, and then you have to dig that out. So just one quick little tip when it comes to, you know, if you have vinyl stripes on your car or you have clear bra on your car, go with it and go over it instead of against the crease. Okay, we're done claying it. So remember, it's kind of like a this or that type of thing we're doing today. So you do this, do you need that or do you need that, right? In this case, we made the decision for graphene shampoo, then we did the clay mitt. Now it's gonna tell us what we need after this. So check this out, let's see what the water's doing now. So you can see the coating is starting to reveal itself, okay? But after 8 months, the coating is gonna acquire some wear, okay? And anytime that you have some wear on your coating, your water behavior is gonna start to, the hydrophobics is gonna start to reduce essentially. So I can see that the water beading is great, but the water's still sticking on the surface. So what the coating is telling me right now is that we need to boost this, okay? So think of the ceramic coating as, once it lays on your car, when it cures, it almost cures to like a bed of nails. It's like a bunch of the Rocky Mountains, meaning the water molecules cannot adhere to the top point of it and it can't go in between. So that's what makes it bead water like crazy. When your coating starts to wear or it starts to get abraded away from harsh weather, from washing it consistently, you start to wear the coating down a little bit. So those top points of the coating start to flatten out. And that's what happens when the water, the surface behavior starts to become flat, or the water beading is not as pronounced as the time you first applied it. So what you want to do is boost that. So using something like Graphene Boost, Graphene Detail Spray, to reinstate those peaks and valleys to allow the water not to adhere to the surface. So okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna dry this off really quick. So take my drying towel, get the water off of the car. Now that this is dry, I'm gonna take a borderless gray plush towel. This is one of the best towels to use with the spray and wipe process of Graphene Detail Spray. So all you do is spray this on here. Use it just like detail spray. So less is more. So a nice fine mist like so. Take my towel, wipe it off the glass first. And then we wipe it off the rest of the car. Now, Graphene Detail Spray is a great product to have in your arsenal because, like one of our employees here, Tyler Roberts, he likes to take his car through a touchless car wash. And what he does is he gets all the loose dirt and grime off by going through the touchless car wash, which he likes to go to Auto Wash, which is a local company here, and we've partnered with them, so a great company, and he'll take it through there, do the touchless car wash, and then when he drives it home, by the time he gets home and his car's somewhat dry, he goes over the whole car with Graphene Detail Spray, and he does this every time that he gets his car washed. So listen, if you're somebody that likes to maintain their car consistently, like every week, every 2 weeks, Graphene Detail Spray is a great option for you because it's as simple as washing your car, drying it, and then wiping it down with this almost every single time you wash your car. If you're not somebody that's going to do this every single time, then 3 months down the road, do a Graphene Boost treatment, which is a higher concentration level of the graphene protection in here, and it's going to be more pronounced with the water behavior. Okay, so if you're somebody that likes to maintain your car more consistently, you like to touch your car more consistently, Graphene Detail Spray is a great option. If you're somebody who likes to do it over a long period of time, 3 to 6 months, Graphene Boost is going to be a better option for you. And I'm going to show you how to use Graphene Boost right now. All right, so Graphene Boost on this front door so you can see how it works. Now, with Graphene Boost being more concentrated, I like to work in smaller areas to prevent streaking while you use it. So I'll actually spray this top portion where the glass is, wipe it off, and then I'll move down to the bottom section of the door, spray it and wipe it off. So take this nice thin spray of Boost and wipe it off immediately. Like so, and then we go to the door and wipe it off immediately as well. Now, Graphene Boost is a product that you get inside of your graphene ceramic coating kit. You get a little 4-ounce bottle of it. So the reason why we put that in there is to be able to have a product that you can restore the hydrophobic properties after about 3 months. So if you have that 4-ounce bottle because you bought the kit, after about 3 months, do this process like I did from the beginning, where when I rinse it off, it told me what I needed, graphene shampoo, rinsed it off, knew I needed to clay it, and now if you have that little 4-ounce bottle, this is what you use for this process, okay? But again, if you have Graphene Detail Spray, you've purchased it or got it in a mystery box, then you can also do that process here as well. But when you're using Graphene Boost, go small sections at a time to prevent streaking, because this is highly concentrated with reduced graphene oxide as well as SiO2 or silica. Okay, so I've shown you Graphene Detail Spray here. We did Graphene Boost here, and now what I want to show you is a non-graphene infused product that can boost the hydrophobics on this whole back section of the truck here, and that's actually Rinse Aid. Okay, I've already set up the foam cannon. I put some water in there, poured some of the Rinse Aid inside of there, about 2 ounces, I would say 2 to 3 ounces, and now my mixture is inside of here. So I'm going to rinse this section off, rinse all the dry soap off, then we'll hit it with the Rinse Aid out of the foam cannon so you can really see how pronounced the water beading is on the back section here. Okay, so ceramic coating's back. There's a few flat spots, which I'm totally fine with. So let's hit it with the rinse aid. So again, mix it into your foam cannon. We're gonna spray this on here, let it sit for about 10 to 15 seconds, then we rinse it off. One of the cool things about rinse aid is as soon as it hits the surface, it starts working. So you want to let it kind of adhere and sit on the surface for about 10 to 15 seconds, you know, but what I'm going to do now is I'll rinse this off so you can see the effect that rinse aid has on it. Then I'll move on to the Graphene Detail Spray. Then I'll move on to the Graphene Boost. So as you can see with the rinse aid, the water beading is very pronounced now, okay? That's us using rinse aid to boost the graphene ceramic coating that's on the surface. And it's gonna feel very, very slick, and it will provide a little bit of a shine. So by using rinse aid, not only are you getting the benefit of boosting it, but your car is gonna look amazing after you use it. So rinse aid, an immediate turnaround from boosting it just like that, just by using it out of the foam cannon. Now I will say with rinse aid, it doesn't have the longevity that Graphene Detail Spray or Graphene Boost has. So rinse aid is something you're gonna need to do every other wash, I would say. So depending on your washing schedule, if you're doing it every week, if you're doing it every 2 weeks, then you wanna do the rinse aid after every other wash. In between those washes, you can just use detail spray as your standard drying aid. Now, let's see the water behavior that Graphene Detail Spray provides us. So again, extremely pronounced when it comes to the hydrophobic properties. And you saw how easy it was for me. All we had to do was dry the car. Then it's just a simple spray and wipe process with Graphene Detail Spray. And Graphene Detail Spray being a extension of one of our most popular products, the regular detail spray, makes it extremely easy, but it has the shine properties in it, unlike CS3 or some other products. So Graphene Detail Spray is an amazing boosting product that provides a lot of shine, even more than rinse aid. So if you're looking to boost your graphene ceramic coating or regular ceramic coating, but you still want that extra shine that a quick detailer provides, Graphene Detail Spray is a really, really good option, okay? Now let's look at the boost and see the water behavior here. So again, extremely pronounced, even more so than the other ones. You can actually see this has less water on it than this does, okay? And the reason for that is the extra concentration levels of silica and reduced graphene oxide. So if you want the maximum boosting capability for your ceramic coating, Graphene Boost, hands down, is the best product for that. But remember, it's a little bit harder to use because the higher concentration level means streakiness. So that's why I like to work in smaller sections. But by working in smaller sections, it might take me a little bit extra time, but you're gonna get this water beading effect that is more pronounced than any other product that you could use to boost your ceramic coating. Boost is so good. Now with ceramic coating maintenance, there isn't one overarching process or product that you need, okay? Here's the thing, you have to make the decision, okay? So when you first start rinsing the car, the coating is gonna tell you what it needs. So remember, if you have some flat water properties on the side of your car, you know to start with graphene shampoo. Now if you do that process and the hydrophobics come back completely and is exactly what you're looking for, you're done, okay? Now remember, If it's still a little bit flat and you do the maintenance clay process, and after you do that process, the water behavior comes back and looks amazing, you don't even need to get into the boosting process. So just realize that every step of the way, what the coating tells you is gonna tell you what you need to do or what you don't need to do, essentially. So again, I hope this video was helpful. What we wanted to do is help you realize what a ceramic coating needs, and hopefully the indicators that you saw in this video helps you understand what you need.